Mrs. and Mr. Ringler are with us today. First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming here. How did you get to know Shekel?
The story of our acquaintanceship with Shekel is defined by the fact that we have a child who has some disabilities, and through a network of people who recommended Shekel as the best place for attention and service and professional intervention and therapeutic enrichment, we came to Shekel.
Did you shop around before deciding Shekel might give you the optimal solutions or answers?
Right. We moved to Israel in 1986, and at that time we knew that we needed the support and the interest of a social welfare agency, but it took us a number of years to decide the nature of the program that we were looking for our son. And actually the name Shekel came up many times in conversations with professional colleagues and friends. And one day I decided to have a visit. It was pretty straightforward. I called somebody and he said, come over and meet with me. So I did, and he waved me down on the street, literally, come here, come over here, because I didn't see a building, I didn't see people, I didn't really understand what Shekel was. And then we came into a small, crowded, cramped offices with people who were warm and kind and caring and welcoming. And I sat down with the person who was in charge of development and began to talk. And that took place about 10 years ago. And we've had a conversation, ongoing, consistent conversation ever since. Mm-hmm.
How was the adjustment process? Were there any setbacks for your son?
Listen, when you're dealing with a disabled population, the development is never straight and linear. There are always peaks and valleys and ups and downs. And during the times when things are going well, we celebrate with our friends in Shekel. And during the periods when things are not going as well as we all would hoped or wanted them to go, we felt that we always had a friend at Shekel, a professional person to contact. And there were times when it was really, Mickey, very troubling for us as a family unit. But thank goodness we had a telephone number and a friendly voice and somebody who was there to give us their ear and their understanding and their advice.
But not only for us, but for our son, because our son, like many such children, have difficulty in understanding or processing the issues and the challenges that they live with. And one of the wonderful things about Shekel is that there are people here who have the patience and the insight and the understanding to be able to respond to their frustrations and their needs and to help them work through each of those challenging passages in their life, which make for difficulty and resolution of their problems.
You know, I have to comment too that I think one of the hallmarks of this organization is their accessibility. Staley and I always feel, and I think our children, the siblings of our disabled son feel too, that there's somebody they can turn to. If it's a simple informational question or a question about our son's situation, it's never treated as though it's something to be laughed at or scoffed at, but it's taken seriously. And for us, that's just so important. So it's the combination of the professional approach and the sincerity, the warmth of the people that I think, in our minds anyways, is what sets the organization apart from any other organization. And we have been involved, our son is 38 years old, so we have been involved over the years with many organizations, both here and in the United States.
There are recurring moments of frustration and difficulty And if it were not for the intervention of Shekel staff to help my son put things into perspective, to quiet him, and to give him the confidence and the sense of perspective on those things that are troubling him, I think we would have a great deal of difficulty in dealing with him otherwise.
You know,
Can you think of an example where Shekel made a difference for your family?
I think for us, one of the characteristics that's so important and so meaningful really in our lives and the life of our son is that our son is treated with utmost respect and with dignity. And for any person, that's so important. And for somebody who is disabled, it is critical to their development, to their self-esteem, to who they are, because the world is difficult in the best of times, and somebody who has a disability, every day the world can be frightening, challenging, and overwhelming. So Shekel is there to extend a hand with support and understanding and respect. They don't infantilize him. They treat him as an adult, and they respect his intelligence and his strengths and understand his disabilities. And that combination, I think, is so critical.
I believe you are volunteering in Shekel. Can you please tell us about it?
As a parent, as a individual active in the community, when I understood more fully the needs, both of the population and of the staff who work extraordinarily long hours and very difficult and complex issues, emotional and psychological issues, that anything that one can do to ameliorate the situation, to strengthen the staff, and to bring new resources to bear, to enable the organization to grow and to meet new challenges, it's a source of great satisfaction. And I like all others who have volunteered their time, bring the skills and the experience that they have had, in my case, in a variety of organizational positions, and share that with the organization.
Can I just add something to that, too? I think if we can set forth a good model, Stanley recently had an important birthday. We're not going to go into the numbers here, but the family made a decision that rather than spending our resources on a party and a journey or whatever, we talked with the family and decided that we would endow an annual seminar, which in our case addressed the particular disability that our son has. And we were so proud this year to be able to be there to introduce the speakers and to provide a full day of learning for people in Shekel as volunteers and professionals. And I hope that maybe this is a model for others who would be interested in supporting this organization in a way that's meaningful for them.
I would add to that. When we say endow, that means we're setting aside a significant amount of money, which we don't have available at the moment. It's not in our pockets, it's not in the bank, but it is part of our estate. And when that day comes, when we reach 120, it's much easier to do it this way, to take a portion of our estate and leave it for the good work of Shekel. And I would hope that other people would consider this as well. We're not taking the money out of their pocket, which they need on a day-to-day basis. But when it comes to thinking about the future and the name that they want to leave and the kind of contribution they want to be remembered for, that's one way to do it.
What are your wishes for the future?
Well, I would like to wish for people to have their wishes fulfilled, their dreams fulfilled. Obviously, good health and prosperity. And for me personally, a level of sensitivity toward others who have less, and perhaps the weaker population, to always remember them, be grateful for what we have, but let's not forget those people who really need our support.
I agree. My wife is a very wise lady.
First time ever. Okay.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing your thoughts with us.